everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel, AJ's Movie Place. Monday evening, 6 PM, means one thing, AJ's ranking again. Let's get into it. Okay, so welcome back to the latest episode of AJ's ranking again. As I just stated, this series comes at us every Monday evening at 6 PM UK time, Greenwich Mean Time. Yes. So today, as you've already seen, I'm going to be ranking the Universal Soldier films. Yeah, the 4 Universal Soldier films. Now, I know some finicky people will turn around me and say, well, there's actually 6. There's 2 TV movies. Let's ignore those. They're not part of this main, franchise, cinematic, straight to DVD franchise. They were TV films. They're not even part of this ranking, so we're going to give them a miss. Yeah, so it's the 4 primary films that we've got between the years of 1992 and 2012. Yeah, so let's rank these. Okay, before I actually begin this ranking, if you're new to this channel, why don't you consider subscribing? The subscribe button is just down below. It's not going to take you long to press it. Go down there, press that button, go and check out some of my other material. If you like what you see, hit the notification bell to keep yourself apprised of all my upcoming content. Also, I wouldn't mind a few comments. I do reply to all comments, that's a guarantee. And also, you can come join me on Facebook and Instagram under the same name as what I use here, AJ's Movie Place. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to get into this ranking of Jean-Claude Van Damme's series of Universal Soldier films. Now, in my 4th spot, now this might upset some people because some people seem to like this film for some god-awful reason, and I don't know why. And that would be Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning, which came at us in 2012. Directed by John Hyams. I'll come back to that later. Now, this film is completely set outside of the continuity of any of the other Universal Soldier films. It does a complete about-face. When I first watched it, I was confused as to what was going on. I was confused as to what I was watching. I had no context for what I was watching, the reasons why these changes had taken place. Now, the film opens up with, I'm not going to go beat for the stories, but the film does open up with a rather violent scene where Scott Adkins' character of John, his family are brutally murdered, and the killer removes his mask, and it's no other than Dolph Lundgren's it's Jean-Claude Van Damme's Luke Devereaux, with a bald head. And yeah, so now Dolph Lundgren does also return into this film. The film is the most sort of hand-to-hand actiony. The action in it is great. I won't knock that. The fights and all that, the martial art fights. It's the film with the most of that sort of stuff in it. And a lot of people do like that, and it is probably the most violent of the Universal Soldier films. Again, I don't need violence. I'm not one of these people who's like a gore hound who loves it when there's a bit of gore on screen, and because this film's got a bit of gore in it and that one didn't, this one's better. I don't work like that. I don't think like that. This film I just found to be a horrible mess of a film, and you got to remember, these are my opinions, nothing else, and I respect other people's opinions, and some people might love this one. Me personally, I don't. Now, dropping down into 3rd place, from 1999, Universal Soldier: The Return. Now, again, this was the sequel. This was the first sequel. It saw Jean-Claude Van Damme come back. Dolph Lundgren, he didn't come back. It stars Michael Jai White as a character called Seth. The film basically follows this supercomputer that sort of artificial intelligence that becomes malevolent, comes to life, and puts itself inside one of these Universal Soldiers, and Luke Devereaux has to to fight. Now Luke Devereaux's living a life away from the Universal Soldier program. He's sort of helping out with it, but he isn't a Universal Soldier anymore. He sort of broke that program and living a real life. So it is like a sequel to the first film. But he's brought back in. He has to go and fight his way through this film. When I first watched the film years and years ago, I didn't particularly like it because it was nothing like the first one. But ultimately, when I've rewatched it, it has grown on me a bit. I have enjoyed it, but it isn't a very good film. It's very sort of set in one location in this building, so it feels a whole lot cheaper. It is a whole lot cheaper because, well, it was. So yeah, so that's it. This film, I forgot to mention the directed by someone called Mick Rogers. I don't know. I don't even care for looking at what else he's done. So that's my third spot. Now, falling into spot number 2, and going to be surprising you people, is Universal Soldier, the very first film from 1992, directed by Roland Emmerich. Now, this is a very fun, cheesy popcorn movie. Don't get me wrong, right? It's very enjoyable. It's a product of its time. You've got Jean-Claude Van Damme. You've got Dolph Lundgren as these veterans that had died in Vietnam, and they're brought back to life under this Universal Soldier programming, but they're haunted by flashes of the past of what went on, because as they had a conflict among themselves within Vietnam over the way that Dolph Lundgren's character would act. Andrew Scott, his character's name, and and the things he would do to the Vietnamese people that went against Luke Devereaux, Jean-Claude Van Damme, his moral compass, and thusly, when they're Universal Soldiers, this sort of comes into play again. And yeah, now with this film, it's the most sort of open film on the road, like the biggest budget. It's a good film. I have issues with some of the comedy within the film, like when Jean-Claude Van Damme's constantly in but fighting at the same time. That sort of stuff sort of embarrasses me to watch. There's, like I said, it was a product of its time, but on a whole, it's a very, very good film, a very enjoyable film, for what it is. And I do remember when it first came out and the interest and all that, because it was like after the Terminators. And this sort of a thing. So yeah, it was a good film. So leading me into my number 1 spot, and my all-time favourite Universal Soldier film is Universal Soldier Regeneration from 2009, directed by John Hyams. Okay, yeah. So this is why I said I'd come back to John Hyams, because John Hyams directed my least favourite, Day of Reckoning. The fact that he brought back Universal Soldier with Regeneration, and this film was fantastic. It brought back Jean-Claude Van Damme. It brought back Dolph Lundgren. Andrei Arlovsky was another Universal Soul in the film. The film is all about stolen technology which has been stolen by terrorists. The next generation of Universal Soldiers. They set up a base in the old Chernobyl building, and they're threatening to explode some detonation in there to release a gas cloud and all this sort of thing. And you find Jean-Claude Van Damme's Universal Soldier has been decommissioned, so it does kind of do its own thing for getting Universal Soldier 2 to return. But like I said, they bring back Jean-Claude Van Damme's soldier out of decommissioning, have to train him up again. He gets sent in to stop this. That's where he finds out that there's these rogue Universal Soldiers that are working with these terrorists. Dolph Lundgren's Andrew Scott comes back into it as one of these evil Universal Soldiers. And yeah, it's just, this film I think is fantastically shot. The location is sort of mysterious and spooky, being that it's Chernobyl and the history behind that, and bringing the Universal Soldier into that sort of, using this disaster as it just works. It really does work. So it does surprise me that John Hyams went on to do Day of Reckoning, but mix everything up again. But there you go. So yeah, so for me, Regeneration, I wasn't expecting much from it when I went into it back in the day. But I remember that first time watching it and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is a fantastic Universal Soldier film. It is a difficult choice between that 1 and 2 spot. But I like the fact that Regeneration is played more seriously than the first Universal Soldier. So for me, it easily sort of beats that one into that number 1 spot, but only marginally. But yeah, it's my favourite. So there you go. They're my 4. They're the Universal Soldier films ranked in order from worst to best. So in 4th place, Day of Reckoning. In 3rd place, The Return. In 2nd place, the original Universal Soldier film. And in 1st place, Regeneration. Fantastic film that I love. Anyway, that was my rankings. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next episode, where next week I'll be ranking something else. Why don't you give me some ideas down in the comments as to what series of film or whatever you'd like me to take a look at and what you'd like me to rank. Let me know. Get involved, and I might do your ranking. You never know. So come on, let me know. Come on. And waste no time. Anyway, it's AJ. I'm getting going, and I'll see you later. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care all. Goodbye.